Good evening. Welcome to the Village Board meeting for the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, April 23, so if you are watching live on Monday, April 23, we encourage you to call in if you have comments or questions. Our call-in number is 769-1677. As always, you can catch us live or via on-demand webcasts at Cablevision, Verizon Fios, or at pctv76.org. Our next scheduled meeting is a week from today, Monday, April 30, with a work session at 7 p.m. That's a special session at which time we will be adopting the fiscal year 2012-2013 budget. We also have a regular meeting on Monday, May 7, with a work session at 7, and a regular meeting on Monday, May 21, with a work session at 7. So, again, let me remind you, if you have comments or questions, the call-in number is 769-1677. It was an eventful couple of weeks in the Village of Pleasantville, particularly last weekend. All kinds of things going on, one of which was a very successful Relay for Life at Pace University. On behalf of the American Cancer Society, I visited on behalf of the village, as did quite a cadre of volunteers from the community, including Pleasantville Lions Club. Really an extraordinary event where 1,000 or more people gathered in the Pace University gymnasium and were there from about 6 p.m. till 4 in the morning. That, I guess, is standard operating procedure for college students, not standard operating procedure for the rest of us. But it's an event that has gone on for several years at Pace, and really a very nice opportunity to connect our various communities on behalf of such an extremely good cause. So thanks to Pace, kudos to the 8 or 10 students who are the key members who organized this, an impressive bunch of young people if ever there were, and kudos to Pace and the American Cancer Society for an event that was targeted to raise between $50,000 and $60,000 on behalf of the Cancer Society. So Saturday morning, the Pleasantville Fire Department had an open house and pancake breakfast down at the Fire Department headquarters on Washington Avenue. A great event, all kinds of things going on, demonstrations of what they do. The key takeaway is that the fire department is always looking for new volunteers, and particularly looking for them now. Don't make the assumption that you're not the right person. It is a great opportunity to volunteer for people of any age, for men, for women, for high school students who are interested in the junior corps, for people who may be past the point of riding fire trucks and climbing ladders, but who have administrative and organizational skills that they can contribute. So I very strongly encourage anybody who has even the remotest interest to get in touch with the Pleasantville Volunteer Fire Department and have a chat. An extraordinary bunch of people that do a great job on behalf of this village and save all of us an extraordinary amount of money. So get to their website, come on down to Washington Avenue and take a look at the headquarters. There was also a very, very successful event run by the Recycling Committee down adjacent to the DPW yard, and we have a couple of people here, Christina Grislow and Helen Muir, who I invite to tell us about it.
Good evening. My name is Christine Simon O'Grislow. I'm with the Pleasantville Recycles Committee.
Hi, Helen Mira, Pleasantville Recycles, and CAC also, similarly. So I'll just go first about the recycling event. It was the second annual Pleasantville Recycles Day. It was on Saturday morning. We were worried about the rain, but we had a lovely day. We had a huge turnout. We collected officially we collected 61 bicycles for Recycler Bicycle, which is a New York City branch of a big outfit that recycles bicycles. They reuse them where they can, they refurbish them, they donate small ones to children's organizations, and the parts they can't use, they reuse on other bicycles, and when it's absolutely unusable, they send it off to scrap metal. And they also educate children both in bike maintenance and teach them how to assemble bicycles, so they have a skill, and they lead rides, and they have about 500 kids in ride programs. So in addition to the bicycles, which were only just stuffed in the truck, I think we collected 60 that went in, and Armonk had about 75, so we weren't far off. And a few residents took bicycles home too, which was great to see them being reused in the community. We also collected loads and loads of sports equipment, which included football and lacrosse pads and helmets and cleats for football, baseball and soccer, and balls, baseball bats, mitts, a few sundry items like fishing rods. And all of that will be available for everybody to rummage around on Pleasantville Day at the Pleasantville Recycles booth. So come along on May 19th and pick up an item or two. And we have a Facebook page. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. And we have a great website, pleasantvillerecycles.org. And if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll be entered to win 2 tickets to our wonderful music festival, which is on July 14th. So
Pleasantville Day, you're going to be giving back to the community this sports equipment that various families had outgrown or didn't need anymore.
That's correct.
That's right.
It's a great thing. It's a great
And is there an opportunity for people who missed it to continue to donate?
We're not really sure about that. I mean, most of it's either in Dan Turner's truck or my basement.
So that's the answer, yes.
As long as you drop it off at the Turner's.
Do you want to share your address? Share your address and tell us
Please
which
do
basement
not.
window is open?
No.
Turn out and pick items up. That would be very appreciated.
Yes.
Please, yes.
Yeah, I think, and certainly if you turn up on the day and you've got a few pieces with you, you can just throw them down in the heap with everything else. Actually, the cleats are already sorted out into sizes and they're all tied up so they
And the
can't
shoes also.
miss their partners, right? So that's the plan.
That was very successful. We had wonderful weather, and I think the community really appreciated it. And I was asked, "So are you going to do this now every week?" And we were like, "Whoa!"
That's when you say, "Would you like to volunteer?"
Yes, that's right. We did, but we didn't get the right answer. But please, if you would like to volunteer for pleasantvillerecycles.org, you're more than welcome to do so. You can reach us via email at info@pleasantvillerecycles.org. We do need volunteers. Please. Make yourself available. It's fun. Thank you.
They do great work.
Well, thank you for that. You've just done a great job. So now,
Hold up your
compost
hold up
week.
your card.
Yeah.
Our card. Yes, we have a nifty card with a QR code. For those who don't know what a QR code is, this is if you have a smartphone, you can scan it, and actually it leads you to our website. They're available on May 19th at our booth at Pleasantville Day.
I'm going to do it right now.
It should work. We have 1,000 of those printed. On recycled
we did
paper,
it.
I may say.
All right. So a little later in our resolutions, we have a resolution about Compost Week.
Yes.
I did it.
So while you're here, make the pitch.
Right. I'm a member of Pleasantville Recycles and also a member of the Pleasantville Conservation Advisory Council, and I got into home composting about 2 years ago and really, really like it. I think it's a great way of diverting your weekly garbage from the landfills. You home compost, you create something really great that you can use locally, like around in your garden. And since about 50% of that could be diverted from the landfills and reused at home, I think it's a great way of doing so. And composting can be done at home easily. And you find a lot of information on our website, pleasantvillerecycles.org. However, I also I'm a member of the U.S. Compost Council, and they have every first week of May something they call Compost Awareness Week, and it's done internationally in Canada, in the UK, and also in the US nationwide. And as part of that, I had asked the board if we perhaps could proclaim the first week of May Pleasantville Compost Awareness Week, which I believe you will do so later this evening. This is a poster, Compost, Replenish the Earth for Generations, International Compost Awareness Week, May 6 to 12 this year. it's a beautiful thing. It's easy to do. And just so you know, the basic goals of Compost Awareness Week are to increase the diversion of organics from the main waste stream through increasing awareness of and participation in organics diversion initiatives like centralized composting curbside, and in our case home composting here, community composting, and also second, to increase awareness and advocate for proper use of soil improving compost. And some of the benefits are, for example, the soil enriching compost provide nutrients necessary for healthy plant growth and intense colors throughout the growing season. It helps to improve the structure of clay or sandy soils. It cuts down on your watering requirements, very much so if you do it on a regular basis, if you put compost into your beds and vegetable and flower beds on a regular basis. And has, helps quickly establish new shrubs and plants and turf. The improved structure of enriched soils provides excellent growing conditions and aids root zone establishment, and many more advantages and improvements through compost. Anyway, so I'm a big fan of it. I hope you will start home composting as well. Perhaps this year, give it a chance, or vermicomposting, which is warm composting. Again, information is on our website.
Right. Actually, I'll add to that. We, our Mayor, Peter Scherer, has organised 4 bags of compost to be given away at the Pleasantville Middle School Earth Day event, which is the evening of May 3rd from 5:30 to 7:30. And also I should mention that Pleasantville waste goes into an incinerator, and kitchen scraps are really poor fuel for a burning facility. So it's a great way to improve efficiency and to improve your yard. So compost.
So
or
all those
compost.
kids and families at the middle school on May 3rd get to come home with a little bag of dirt, and Helen can report
Compost.
that is, it's returning to all of you the leaves you gave us, and we give it back to you in form of compost. There's more where that came from. People are welcome to drive down to the Village Garage at the end of Village Lane behind the MLA property and bring a shovel and something to put it in, and take as much as you want in order to improve your yard and your garden. It's been a great thing, and we have a couple of people who have quite stunning gardens who lay all the success to the quality of our Pleasantville compost.
Great.
But in the category of who would have guessed, the Pleasantville Middle School kids were pretty excited about bags of compost. Is it fair to say?
All kids like dirt.
That's right. See that?
I will say, in the similar vein, my wife has been very proactive about insisting on our yard people to mulch,
Excellent.
Yeah.
and they have agreed to do it now, which is a big step for them. But this week was going to be the first week. We're going to see whether it works or not. But we are taking the advice of the CAC to see if we can make that happen with the yard services. So if they're willing to, if people keep pushing on them,
Right.
you can get them to agree. We think. Well, I'll let you know.
Right, and Mario Sansotto of the DPW said he's quite pleased to be doing mulching. He had a bit of a tough time in the fall because of the storms, and he didn't get to do his ordinary leaf pickup. So leaf pickup would have been very difficult because it was wet and heavy, but mulching was difficult too, but I think a little less difficult than trying to blow it around. So
Yeah.
I think he's looking forward to that going.
So fingers crossed. We'll see how that works. But
Well, in the summer, don't forget you can do grass cycling. Again, there's information on our website.
There is.
So as you start mowing your lawn, just mow your lawn, leave the bags off, and leave the grass on your lawns. Again, all that information, why there's no turf buildup, and why it is so good for your lawn, you'll find on our website.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
very
thank you
much.
guys. And again, Christine mentioned it, but PleasantvilleRecycles.org is a great site. You can sign up for our newsletter that you get periodically.
Yep.
There is a recycling A to Z glossary that allows you to figure out what to do with all kinds of odd stuff you didn't know what to do with. And you guys would be the poster child for organizations that cropped up recently and have gone 0 to 60 in record time. So
Thank you. Appreciate that.
On a hybrid engine.
An electric engine.
So in the same category, Patty, can we report that the switch has been flipped on the solar panels on our DPW garage?
They've been flipped for demonstration purposes only. Con Edison did not install the right meter, so they're coming back with another meter so we can.
This is a conspiracy,
again.
because this happened in my house in Vermont, too.
I don't
It's
understand.
6 weeks for them to put the right, and
The
then they came
meter
with the
does
wrong
say,
one.
you know, whatever it's supposed to be, a bivalve meter. It says, I can't imagine what else they're putting in. I actually took a picture of it, and I'm sending it to Dan Lyons to say, why isn't this the right meter?
Well, at any rate,
we're very excited.
we're
though.
close, right?
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it was producing
They go to
electricity
a
last
conference
week.
where they
Very
figure out-
exciting. And
all
we'll
these
be able
guys
to
figure
give
out
the
how to
board a
screw you
tour.
around with
Hopefully
this
the
stuff.
next, they said by the end of this month, we'll be up and running.
Great. So the roof of our DPW garage now has a roughly $250,000 solar array on it that was funded out of a grant that we received and
Stimulus money.
jointly purchased with the Village of Briarcliff, which got a similar grant, and we joined forces to bid the whole project together. So in the category of hidden costs, it required that we redo the roof before we put the solar array on, but we knew that was coming anyway, and so we're ahead of the game. So, so that's good news. Couple of things to report going on next week. There is a spring cleanup day next Saturday, the 28th. And let's see what the drill is there, Patty. People should meet at the gazebo at what time, 9 o'clock?
By 9 o'clock. We're
Okay.
running it from 9 to noon. We'll have all kinds of supplies, but we're asking that people dress appropriately because, you know, I mean, you're going to get dirty, but also you shouldn't be in sandals and shorts. So, you know, we're asking people if it's nice, wear light-colored T-shirts because there may be a little roadside work. But basically, it's going to be downtown assignments. We'll have little roots, we'll have trash bags, we'll have gloves, and we'll pick everything up. We just need people to do the bagging.
All right, so that's great. So 9 o'clock at the gazebo
At the
this coming
gazebo.
Saturday. A whole bunch of people have expressed interest, and a bunch of organizations are involved, and a great opportunity to catch up with all the stuff that accumulates over the winter and make it look like a clean and tidy village. There's as soon as you're finished cleaning up, at 1 p.m., you can get yourself over to the Pleasantville Masonic Lodge at 287 Manville Road, that white building on Manville Road. The first 20 people in grades 1 through 12 will be entered in a chess challenge where Jack Stockel, Pleasantville figure Jack Stockel, who's been
nice.
teaching chess to I think a generation or two of Pleasantville school kids, is going to take on all at once 20 competitors.
Oh, wow.
So you have to be between first and between the grades in grades 1 through 12. Nobody older than high school. But the first 20 will each get a board, and Jack is going to move from board to board to board, trying to beat all 20 people all at once, which will be a fundraising venture on behalf of the Pleasantville Community Scholarship Fund. So there is no entry fee, but donations are encouraged, and they will be matched by the Pleasantville Masonic Lodge up to $500. Again, all proceeds donated to the Community Scholarship Fund.
He does a lunchtime program still at Bedford Road School that draws more kids than you could possibly imagine. Like, they are gangbusters into where it's usually held in the science room, and they go flying in there, and they just can't wait to get going.
For a long time.
Yeah.
It started actually when BRS was under construction
Right.
and there was no playground.
Yeah.
So they brought him in
Ah.
to keep the kids entertained. It's been going since then.
Well, it's a great thing, and I guess he's quite a good
Oh,
chess
yeah.
quite a good chess
Very
player. So
good.
we'll see how many out of 20 people he beats all at once. So if you're interested,
We should have Will Shorts right next to him doing crossword puzzles.
you're asked to, well, I'm going to get to that in a minute.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
asked to register by the 27th for the event on Saturday the 28th. If you have questions, you can call 769-1364. Again, it's on behalf of the Pleasantville Community Scholarship Fund. So mentioning Will Shorts, not this weekend, but the past weekend, the Examiner News and the Westchester Table Tennis Center, which is the new venture over on Tompkins Avenue run by Will Shorts, sponsored a table tennis tournament among elected officials. And having not picked up, I don't think you're supposed to say ping pong, in a table tennis center. But I can assure you that everything I've ever played was ping pong. My game does not rise to the level of table tennis. But I went over there with my wife at least a half an hour early and recovered whatever there was to recover of my 9th grade ping pong. And I hope you're listening, Joan Mayberry. I was successful. I was successful in beating Joan Mayberry. But
Poor Joan. Did she go down gracefully?
She did. She went down gracefully. However,
What was it, Saturday?
the week before this weekend,
week before.
all of us lost to Paul Feiner of Greenberg, and he ultimately was the runner-up to clearly a ringer, a guy from some up-county location who's the village clerk who came with his own ping pong paddle in a zipper
That's a
case.
dead giveaway.
If you have a ping pong paddle in a zipper case, we're in trouble.
Oh, that's
But
weak. That's bad.
Paul, we said with good humor, plays table tennis just the way he governs, which is he grinds you down and eventually wins. So,
Or shoots from the hip.
I say that with some grudging respect, because after all, he did beat me in my town. But Pleasantville has emerged victorious over Mount Pleasant, and Joan, if you are watching, I will be happy
So
to
bad.
schedule a rematch. And of course, if that should happen, I'm sure we'll both spend the next several months in training in an effort to try to
Or attraction.
secret
One of the
training
two.
attraction. So. But at any rate, it was a great event. Thanks to the Examiner for doing it. Thanks to Will Shorts and Robert Roberts, who's the pro over there, and really a great use of what was a former light industrial warehouse, now a table tennis club, which is open to the public to join if anyone is interested. So. Dates for your calendar. Pleasantville Day is May 19th. As you heard from our friends on the Recycling Committee, that will be a great opportunity not only to hear what they're doing, but to pick up the soccer cleats that your kid will wear for 3 months before they outgrow them, and then you'll give them back to somebody else. So Pleasantville Day is May 19, shaping up to be a great event. The Pleasantville Music Festival is coming along, and I think there'll be good news to report about the lineup of performers soon. That is Saturday, July 14. So tickets will be on sale soon. More information about the lineup soon. But again, mark your calendars, May 19 for Pleasantville Day and July 14 for the Pleasantville Music Festival. Have we burned out everything?
I have one announcement
Yes.
that I'd like to recognize our village administrator who won an award
Oh,
from
thank you. I did.
was presented
I'm so
by
surprised.
surprise by the president of Pace University with all her
Thank you.
colleagues present and a couple hundred people, if I'm not mistaken, for her contributions to the Masters in Public Administration program at Pace University. The only person to win an award that night at the dinner, so congratulations to
Thank
Patty,
you.
who has contributed greatly to
It
campus
It was
and
quite shocking.
yes.
Thank you.
But she got the coolest, like, I've never seen anything like this. She's got, like, it has a base, and it has a globe on the top, and it's solar powered, so the globe spins.
Yeah, those are
It's
cool.
really neat.
Are they cool?
Yeah, they're cool.
I never saw something.
So,
like
It's
I mean,
upstairs on the table. Come and see.
For those of you who don't know, Patty is not only a distinguished village administrator, her services are widely recognized. She's now a member of the Board of Governors of NYMER, the New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal, which insures us as well as many of our other
That's 700 other municipalities.
colleagues. And Patty is a member of the Board of Governors now, which is both a big responsibility as well as an honor that reflects her stature. And she's a 3-time PACE graduate.
Undergraduate
Poster
and two
child for
masters.
Pace
And,
University. 2 masters.
yeah.
one
And
undergrad.
now an adjunct professor in the public administration program. So it's funny if you go with Patty to some event, there are all kinds of people coming up sheepishly and saying, "Oh, hi, professor." So
It's surreal. It's really it's a wonderful thing. Thank you, Mindy, for recognizing that.
well, I'm
I even
very
said
impressed.
to the mayor, I said, I've never felt accomplished. The first time in my life I felt accomplished is when somebody called me professor. Isn't that strange? I really, and I really mean that.
Well-
Despite all the things I was able to do.
I was going to say,
with
it's
a lot
quite
of
clear that
help
you
and
should have deserved to feel
place
accomplished well before that, but
right time.
that was a
Well,
nice punctuation
It's true, though.
mark.
It's true. The rest
on
of
it.
it's just, work, sweat, equity, and whatever it is. Right place, right time. Lots of good things, good fortune, good people.
Deserve it.
Good job.
Good job.
Well done.
Thanks.
Well, and as we have said before, living adjacent to a college community comes with some problems, and certainly all of us have struggled collectively over the last couple of years. But PACE has been a sturdy and loyal friend of the Village of Pleasantville, and vice versa. That has been made apparent in many, many ways, and was made apparent both by me and to me the other night at the PACE Relay for Life. And so I just want to thank our friends at PACE, not only the PACE administration and faculty, but also the PACE students who have embraced this community so freely and have helped in so many ways. And I think that the master plan that PACE is currently working on, which is in review in the town of Mount Pleasant, also presages a new and rather bright future for PACE and its relationship with its Pleasantville and Mount Pleasant environs, as PACE proposes to make a very significant investment that I think will create a much better campus community that will both benefit, obviously, first and foremost the PACE community, but will benefit the broader community as well. It's funny, when I was over there at the Relay for Life, it's like old home week of the people coming to swim in the PACE pool who are members over there. So it's just one of the many ways in which PACE benefits our community by doing what they do. So
I also want to say, Mayor, and I don't like to talk about charitable acts, but I did want to say that, it is a commitment to go and to teach there sometimes 2 nights a week in the fall and at least 1 night now in the spring online. It takes away energy, but it doesn't take away from my commitment here. But I've pledged all of that money that they pay me, that stipend I get for faculty, into a scholarship fund. So the time I do give to them on behalf of my relationships with the village and just doing it because I love it, I was able to create a $20,000 scholarship. Wow. Very exciting. So
cool.
that feels good. It just feels good. So I appreciate taking the board allowing me to take time to go over there and teach.
Well, that's a good segue into what I have to say. The Wizards game.
I can't play basketball.
Sponsored by the Pleasantville Scholarship Fund is actually this Friday evening. So I know that this board over the number of years has never been able to harness a team formidable enough to even venture out onto the court since I went there
we
alone
suffered.
once.
I can't do that again.
one of the few decisions about which I have never second-guessed myself is not to expose
I wish I
myself
could say the
to
same.
the ridicule
I should have.
of the Wizards.
But Wednesday,
You made
Friday
us proud,
night,
Jonathan.
Friday night Wizards game. Good cause, fun time. I think it starts at 6.
And is that here at Pleasantville? Or
Pleasantville-
is it-
Pleasantville
High
It's
School.
in the high school. Pleasantville High School.
This
Yep.
year it's in the high school. They only had it over there when we had construction. But we
Correct.
didn't. They always called and asked me to get we always wanted a team. I always tried to get a team together. But we couldn't get one from the police department again. Yeah, you played, Patty. Patty and Judy played.
I played with you guys.
Yeah.
I
Top
played,
5
not for
favorite
the village,
embarrassing
but for-
moments.
That's what it's all about.
That was awful.
family.
I think we can take them.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Me
that
too.
foolish.
I played 5.
Colleen, next
I'm
year I'm
in.
game. If you want to do
I'm
it,
in.
I'll go. All
Who's
right.
the
do it
center
with
and
you
who's
too.
the power forward?
Although
What do you-
I've been now sort of the village photographer for that
I had to
game.
do a tip-off about 6 years ago with a 7'2".
Oh yeah, that's always a lot of fun.
I don't know.
And they're threatening
I
to
give
pull
you
down your
credit.
I
shorts.
just hugged him and he
I-
dropped the ball.
I
He
was
got
in the stands
possession.
when they spent 20 minutes trying to pull down Don Antonetti's pants, so I
Right.
thought it may
I'm
be
in.
that
I'm in next
it
year.
may be that this is something to watch from the sidelines. So, okay, great. The last thing I had on my list was the fishing derby is coming up also on May 12th. So
Did you we stock it yet? Because there was like 4 fishermen out there today.
catching all the fish in advance of the derby.
Well, that's why I want to know. Did we stock it yet? I don't think we stocked it yet. Did we?
We can't talk about that early
Oh,
because
okay. All right. Sorry.
earlier than the event, because people start fishing a little earlier
Well,
than they
there's been
should.
4 guys out there every
We
day.
can't divulge when the fish are stocked,
Yes.
or people will come.
Don't
to-
worry.
Sorry, that's
it'll be
true.
stocked
That
for
would
the
be giving
derby.
away too much, I know.
It will be stocked.
Okay, so the fishing derby is May 12th, which is another great event.
Don't show up early.
uh,
No early birds.
And,
It's at Nanthagen.
why, I think there are, 24 inches in there.
At Nanthagen.
Sometimes there's pretty big fish in there. And,
All right, anybody else have anything else?
well, I recognize
No.
that.
All right, let me just touch on a couple of things that we have been working on in work session, and one of them is obviously the key focus of the last month or two has been the budget, and we will be voting to pass a budget a week from today at a meeting on Monday, April 30, but as we always do, pairs of trustees fan out and go through the budget line by line at various department offices and both familiarize themselves with the budgets of each department in great detail, but also work with the department heads both to understand what the costs are, to look for savings, and to have a better sense of what we can anticipate in the years to come in terms of opportunities for savings, opportunities for shared services, and in some cases, the likelihood of increased expenses that are the result of equipment or building costs. So we've been through that process, and nothing dramatic has arisen out of it. Lots of nipping and tucking in various lines, but I think that the outline of the budget is essentially as we described it to you a couple of weeks ago at the public hearing, and that is that our tentative tax increase is somewhere around 2.8%. The labyrinthine calculation that the state provides to determine whether that is under the 2% allowable increase in the tax levy indicates that it is, and so it's our intent and I think our expectation that we will vote a week from today on a budget that lives within the tax cap. Lots to be said about the pros and cons of the tax cap, but it certainly has been our goal to accomplish that, and I think we have. Some of you may have seen an article in the Patch that was attached to a survey saying, should Pleasantville break the tax cap or not? That would be, in
No,
the category...
override the tax cap.
I'm sorry, override the tax
Not-
cap.
Break
Yes,
the
thank
code.
you for that, Mindy. That's, like asking the class of kindergartners, would they like ice cream? You kind of know what the answer is going to be. The frustrating piece of that is that we have never intended to override the tax cap, or that is to break the tax cap if we could possibly avoid it, although we have said up front that we aren't going to allow the tax cap to derail what we consider to be good and responsible long-term planning, and I think that will be a risk as we work through this in the years to come. But as it stands this year, we will, I think, with certainty, live within the tax cap. And so I just didn't want anyone who read that article in the Examiner, and it did explain the discussion, which had been that there was talk of overriding the tax cap in order to protect ourselves from a reinterpretation by Albany, since the Comptroller's Office has a hard time even explaining how some aspects of this legislation work. But we've done a careful and fair-minded analysis based on the information we have from Albany. We believe the budget we propose is under the cap, and it's certainly my view, speaking only on my own behalf, that there isn't any need to override the cap as a safety measure. So at any rate, there remains a week during which we'll be working on the budget. If anybody has any comments they want to add to it, they are welcome to do so. The full budget is available to you in its draft form on the website at pleasantville-ny.gov, and anybody who wants to dig into it is welcome to do so, or to approach any of the five of us, or to talk to Patty Dwyer here at Village Hall. So pleasantville-ny.gov, you can download the whole detailed draft budget, and when we pass the final budget next week, we'll post the final version on the web as well. So, have we exhausted everybody? Let's move to the resolutions, number 76. Holly.
Resolved that pre-check register dated April 23rd, 2012, covering check numbers 72064 through 72159 and wire transfers 76063 and 72160 have been reviewed and are hereby approved as listed below. From the General Fund, $122,829.55. Special Revenue Fund, $1,834. Water Fund, $96,633.21. Capital Fund, $23,910.51. Refuse Fund, $1,146.64. Pool Fund, $5,631.99. Trusted Agency Fund, $3,360, for a total of $255,345.90.
Is there a second?
Second?
Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Mindy.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville hereby approves the request from the Memorial Day Committee to hold the Memorial Day Parade on May 28th, May 28th, 2011 at 10 a.m. Said parade route to begin at the Bedford Road School, proceed down Bedford Road to the Memorial Plaza, concluding with a ceremony at the World War II Monument. And further resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the police chief to post no parking signs along the parade route and in Memorial Plaza, and to tow all vehicles violating this temporary parking restriction.
Is there a second?
Second.
Just an opportunity to mention again, lots of people are familiar with the Pleasantville Memorial Day ceremonies, but I know lots of people are away some years or every year. I encourage you, if you're anywhere in the vicinity, to participate. It's a great event, both a great community event and a rather moving ceremony down at Memorial Plaza that reminds us actually that Memorial Plaza is called Memorial because it was created and opened after World War II as a memorial to all the people that had been lost from Pleasantville in the war, and for the now 60 or 70 years that have followed, generations of Pleasantvilleans have gathered in exactly the same place every year on Memorial Day and followed a ceremony that has varied in some ways, but the core of which has remained constant for all those many years. And so there are speakers and vocalists, the fire department band, the Pleasantville High School band, and it's a really quite extraordinary day for the village, and I encourage you to stay home on Memorial Day weekend and come to the parade and the service. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Jonathan.
The crap resolution. This is the composting week, and it's 3 pages long.
Oh, it's not that bad.
I will
There's a lot
summarize.
of whereas.
Yes.
Whereas the whole thing,
It looks like more like
Well,
a resolution.
people
Right.
need to know what we're asking
A
them to do.
memorial resolution.
Want me to read it for you?
You want to switch?
what do you got? Whereas the Composting Council of the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom have declared the first week of May to be an annual International Composting Awareness Week, and whereas materials such as yard trimming, leaves, have all been composted for years by the DPW and converted into beneficial product known as compost, and have been made available to Pleasantville residents, and whereas Pleasantville encourages homeowners to home compost their yard trimmings, vegetable trimmings, leaves, and other materials, and whereas returning organic materials to the soil is a method of decreasing the dependence on chemical fertilizers, decreasing erosion, reducing water consumption, and a non-point pollution, and whereas Pleasantville Composting Awareness Week is an opportunity for the multimedia publicity and education initiative to showcase composting products and demonstrate compost use, and whereas the year's national theme, Compost, Replenish the Earth for Generations, is a great way to get the message out regarding compost and its many benefits. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville hereby proclaims the first week of May as Pleasantville Compost Awareness Week.
Is there a second?
I hope so.
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Jonathan, for that stentorian delivery.
You know, years of practice.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.
Judy.
It's the first time
I
we've done
just throw
that.
them in. I have no idea where they're going.
Can we compost
We need to get her
the...
an hour.
Jonathan wants to
We
trade up.
composted.
All right, we
It's pretty as mine.
have good news to report. Resolution 79.
We do. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the appointment of Jeffrey A. Econom to the position of Superintendent of Public Works effective May 14, 2012, at a salary of $129,500. As per the rules and regulations of Westchester County Department of Human Resources, the position is subject to a probationary period of not less than 12 weeks to a maximum of 52 weeks, and further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to sign the management confidential agreement between the Village of Pleasantville and Jeffrey A. Econom.
Is there a second?
Second.
As many of you know, our longtime Superintendent of Public Works, Steve Johnson, retired at the end of March. After 20 some odd years of loyal service to the Village of Pleasantville, we have gone through the process of interviewing the various candidates who are available to us through the civil service system, and are happy to report that Jeff Econom, who is both a licensed professional engineer and a very experienced figure in the world of civil engineering and public works, has agreed to join us, and we look forward to his arrival with great enthusiasm. As an aside, I realize that I failed to mention on Steve's behalf that this Friday, which is the 27th, at noontime, there'll be a tree planting ceremony in front of Michael's and Amangiora in the Old Village, and that includes a placement of a small plaque.
It's Arbor Day, so we're doing it, yes.
An Arbor Day ceremony, and the dedication of the tree to Steve as our departing DPW superintendent. Steve got very interested in trees, had always been, but he became a tree steward later in his career, and it's a happy occasion to welcome him back after the first few weeks of his retirement, to thank him on Arbor Day and to keep Pleasantville a Tree City, USA. So that's in the Old Village at noon on Friday. At the same time, we are extremely happy to report that Jeff has agreed to join us, and we look forward to having him join us with our core management team and to run our highway department, water department, sanitation department, and parks maintenance. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Colleen, number 8.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village clerk to notice a public hearing for Monday, May 7, 2012, 8 p.m. prevailing time, 80 Wheeler Avenue, Pleasantville, New York, to hear comments as it pertains to amending Chapter 185, zoning section 185-3B, definition and word use, and adding section 185-44, A through J, supplemental zoning provisions regarding affordable, fair housing units as per the attached.
Is there a second?
Second.
This is a proposed local law that is our response to the county's request to us that we implement a zoning amendment that would affirmatively further fair housing, all of which has arisen out of the county's settlement regarding affordable housing with the Department of Housing and Urban Development. So we took the model law, the model ordinance that they had provided, and worked it over a bit to reflect the Pleasantville conditions, and thanks to Mindy for that, as well as to Steve Lopez while he was on the board. And it will be up for public hearing
May 7th.
May 7th. So Patty, can we make sure that the text of this is posted on the website?
Sure, no
for anybody who would want to see what's involved. But there's an set aside, for example, multifamily residential developments of 10 or more units would have a set aside of no less than 10% of the units, et cetera. So anybody who's interested in that subject is encouraged to take a look at the local law that we'll post at pleasantville-ny.gov, and you can weigh in on those comments Monday, May 7th at 8 p.m. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 81.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby, the village clerk hereby authorizes the village clerk to notice a public hearing for Monday, May 7th, 8 p.m. prevailing time, 80 Wheeler Avenue, Pleasantville, New York, to hear comments as it pertains to amending Chapter 173, Vehicles and Traffic, Section 173-60, Schedule 12, Parking Prohibited at all times as follows, to delete Section 173-60, Schedule 12, Parking Prohibited at all times on Edgewood Avenue on the north side from Great Oak Lane east for 80 feet.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Well, could you just, this was on the books and we just didn't
This
enforce
has been
it?
on the books for over 15 years. Signs finally went up 3 weeks ago, and then the residents said, why are there no parking signs outside my house? So it raised a lot of questions as to why the law was even enacted back in 1997. It doesn't make any sense. We've reviewed whatever we could find with respect to legislative history, and there being none, there's no legitimate purpose to totally prohibit parking on this particular section of Edgewood. So we're going to revert back to what the code says applies to the entire street, which is 2-hour restriction Monday through Friday, you know, to control commuter parking. But to have these few homes affected by no parking, particularly when they're elevated and they don't
Right.
have front yards and driveways, and
Yeah.
you know, it was very burdensome for them to see these signs go up all of a sudden. So it happens, you know, all of a sudden someone goes to the code book and realizes that they should have stuck signs in places, and they
So
stick them up.
who went to the code book? I mean, my question is, if it's been for 15 years, this is a consistent thing that it frustrates me to no end. 15 years we haven't had signs there.
appears
We've
that
now
way to
spent
me.
the money on these signs, the man hours to put them in, and now we're going to take them down because it doesn't make any sense. So as opposed to coming to us or to you or to somebody to get a double check on something that's not been done for 15 years to see whether or not it's pertinent what to do, we go ahead and spend money and time and effort. I mean, I just want our management team to drill this in, that this is not something, you know, let's think before we do this stuff. I
I
mean,
mean, who is combing the code?
Who authorized it?
to find this?
One of the police sergeants was assigned that
and
responsibility.
that's great. I have no issues with that we should be doing that.
And they directed the Public Works Department to put the signs up, and I get the calls on Monday. So, yeah, I'm just as surprised as you are.
I'm just saying that
Just silly.
we should have
It
a
is.
better,
It is.
when things like this get caught, and they should be caught, I'm not suggesting they shouldn't be,
Well.
but let's be a little bit more intelligent about how we go
Well,
about.
I
It
think.
should have passed through you anyway.
Well,
shouldn't it?
I mean, just logically, they should have understood there'd be impact. So, of course, you know, I come into all these emails on a Monday morning with these residents very upset, and I'm looking at, I don't know why this happened either. You know, I don't know why the sign's up in front of your house. So, you know, it just takes everybody, you know, another few hours to figure out where this all started and where it ended. And, you know,
So
quite
could you-
frankly, it's, you know,
We've had a
Jonathan,
problem
yeah, I mean,
on
to
this
your
block
point, it's-
anyway. I mean,
Well,
there's
you know,
been
this area is
issues.
between Manville and Great Oak.
Right.
I mean, there really isn't a reason to have permanent restricted,
No
you know,
parking at all. Yeah, no.
7 days a week. I mean, there's people need company, you know,
Yeah,
I mean, there's no place to
exactly.
park. So, you know, it is
All
what
right,
it is.
so we'll have a public hearing on it Monday, May 7th, as
Right.
we're required to do, and that would be a public hearing to eradicate this,
Just make it consistent,
this new
right?
regulation.
Yeah, you're making it
And then
consistent.
Edgewood would be 2-hour parking, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Right, it currently
weekdays.
says both sides.
Both
So
Right.
sides
this will
of the street.
cover,
Weekdays, but unrestricted Saturday, Sunday, and holidays.
right,
That's
which
fine.
it is now.
Okay, all, we voted on that, right?
Can I just ask a question, speaking of parking signs? I'm sorry to... What about the ones on Ashland that we passed over a month ago? I know they have to go to Albany. It usually takes a month.
Longer than a month ago.
We did it 2 months ago. It was the end of January, right, Shane? I mean, when we passed the law,
You did setback requirements, right, from
Right.
the driveway?
Right.
The sign should be up.
they're not up.
They are up.
Yeah, they are up.
I
was
didn't
just
see
looking
that. I
into
went-
Their signs up, I don't know if they're the
They're
signs.
not the right signs.
They're the right signs.
No, those are the old signs.
I'll take a look.
Yeah. There's no sign there. There's still parking all the way there. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go off course
They aren't
here.
We'll
parking
put
the,
those signs up, and
it's a
15
lot
years
better than
from
it
now,
used to
they'll
be.
put those
Yeah,
signs up.
exactly.
There are signs
It takes
there.
15 years.
It takes 15
It's
years
going to
to
take
get
a while, but
those
we'll
signs
get
up,
there.
yeah. Come on, what am I asking for here?
All right, number
The
82.
signs up. Your little humor
Resolved
here.
that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville approves the hire of court officer/constable for the Justice Court at a salary of $24 per hour, effective April 23rd, 2012.
Is there a second?
Second.
Was this intended to refer to a specific person, Patty?
Yes, I guess we don't, I do have his name and address upstairs. His last name is Jackson. He's out of Ossining.
Jackson?
Mr. Jackson, yeah, I'll
Okay.
reflect the minutes. He's currently on duty as a constable in the town of Ossining Town Court. He's going to be available on just an interim per diem basis to fill in for one of our permanent part-time officers who's out of the country for a few months.
So you'll modify the resolution to include his
Yes,
full name and
will do.
address? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. Brian, number 83.
Resolved that the village treasurer is authorized to make the following amendments to the FY 2011-2012 budget to fund over budgeted expenses. So we're transferring $24,741 from snow removal to police uniform overtime, $4,673 from Rec Center Marble Fuel to Storm Sewer Outside Service, $1,072 from Rec Center Marble dash
Repair and maintenance.
repair and maintenance to what is
Community
it?
celebrations.
Community celebrations. It looks like communist celebrities.
We have those too.
Celebrations, contractual service, $1,936 from Rec Center Marble Supplies to employment benefits, unemployment insurance, $4,680. We need wool shorts for this. $4,680 to Rec Center Marble Copy Machines to employment benefit, unemployment insurance. $4,725 from contingency to nutrition center supplies, $10,220 from contingency to shade trees, $1,000 from Cent Tech GIS Exp to water administration engineering, $1,594 from Central Technology Software Supplies.
As noted as within.
Water Administration Engineering, and $2,685 from Water Utilities to Water Administration Engineering, total $57,326.
There's a second page.
It's the same
No, it's the
thing.
backup.
Oh, okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
So these are the switches that we make from overfunded accounts to underfunded accounts, and in this case, does not affect the overall budget at all. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. That is the end of our resolution.
Oh, I see.
I want to mention the community. We have a guest tonight, County Legislator Michael Smith, who is visiting. Welcome. If you care to say hello, you're welcome to.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. My first opportunity to come to a Pleasantville Town Board meeting. I have to say I am enjoying the tone and tenor and the.
We try to be more lively than our competitors.
So noted.
Competitive.
It is a great community. I'm happy to be representing you. I started in January of this year. You were well served by an individual who knew this community very, very well. From being mayor and from a couple terms in the legislature. That chain has been broken, but I'd like to reestablish it to make sure that the issues that are important to this community are met and fulfilled. My responsibilities are to serve this area, and that is the entirety of my focus, to serve the District 3, which represents Pleasantville, Mount Pleasant, Thornwood, Hawthorne, Valhalla, North Castle, and that's what my job is. So I will attempt to make the best efforts I can to attend your meetings when possible. They at times conflict with board of legislator meetings on Monday evenings. Just to let you know what some of the things that I've seen that I've been noted in Pleasantville over the last week. I attended the Pace University, the opening of the solar classroom, which was neat. And again, on a smaller level, much smaller level than your shed with the solar project. Pace University has created a classroom that would be available to school children and for adult learners to learn and see the operations of a solar project right in process. Very good, very positive. Again, as I said, if there are specific ways that I can help you, I know there's some open items that are currently in place with the town of Pleasantville and in the county, and I'd like to see that we get to a resolution in one form or another, or a decision, so that everyone can move ahead with what they need to do in order to make their decisions for the future. So anyway, thank you for your invitation.
Michael, I will register one thing right now with you, if you care to hear it.
Do I have a choice?
No, you don't.
But thank you for asking.
You are my official as well. Today, the Supplemental Parkway was flooded again. Surprise, surprise. We have asked, and the only time we ever got a commitment from the county to really help us, when all the traffic streams from Marble Avenue, down Marble Avenue out to Grant Street, and I encourage you to come here and take the 3 hours it takes to traverse that path because of the traffic. We've asked the county continually, and the only time we ever really got a response from them is when we got them on TV, and NBC and CBS and everybody else showed up here to help us with a detour plan and some signage. and maybe some county cops that are here all the time at our delis and everything else, to really assist us when that happens, because we can't get our emergency vehicles through town. The kids walk. We don't have busing. And, you know, quite frankly, the sawmill gets closed. We aren't even notified half the time when it gets closed. So, you know, it is, if you want to help, that's one thing that we could really help use right away, and would make a huge impact on the quality of life of this village until the state can figure out how to actually fix the Sawmill Parkway so it doesn't flood. Right now, they just send traffic through Pleasantville, and it's, you know, we really feel like we've been completely ignored by not just the county but the state too when it comes to that. And quite honestly, it's not fair. We're burning more than our share of that stress, and we're just not in a position where we can continue to do it effectively. So if you could help there, that'd be terrific.
Understood. It's on the list. Thank you.
Okay.
To build off another point that the mayor spoke about earlier, I too attended the open house at the Pleasantville Firehouse and had an opportunity to speak with one of the commissioners there. And I think this is a very real issue that's facing all our communities. I mean, the level of volunteerism and the active roster is declining. You know, to the extent that we are attracting young men and women who are participating in their high school years, and then they go off to college, and then they come back, and so often we see an out-migration of Westchester youth at this point in time now. The issue and the opportunities between a volunteer and an all-volunteer fire department and a all-paid fire department is extraordinary. The amount of monies that you're talking here in the scope of your budget are orders of magnitude of difference. So what we can do to go and promote the volunteerism and the participation in the volunteer fire department, you know, to have a volunteer fire department for as long as we can, it's extraordinarily important. Tomorrow night I'm going to be at the Pleasantville School Board, and one of the things I'm going to encourage the school board there to evaluate is the opportunity to provide a tax break, which is permitted by law, on school taxes to volunteers at this point. From what I understand, that's not something that's currently in place, and at a minimum, it should be something that is discussed and evaluated, and you know, for that board to decide whether it's appropriate for this particular community. But I do thank you for the opportunity to speak, and I look forward to seeing you and spending more time and getting to know all you better. So thank you.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Anybody have any new business?
No.
All right. With that, we will adjourn. We have a few more work session items. Again, our next regular meeting is a week from today, when we will vote on the budget, followed by a regular meeting on Monday, May 7 and Monday, May 21. We thank you all for your attention. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Attend this raft of events this weekend and brush up your chess game for Jack Stockel. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night. Thank you all.
I know.